Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we have a 2018 Volkswagen Touran. So this customer came here the other day for an oil change and he mentioned about some dash lights in the morning. Said when he first started the car in the morning, those lights would come on the dash and then after 15 minutes it would disappear. He didn't mention about the car not cranking, not starting, but I scanned the car. I had no history, all modules, no faults, because the car, I think it was a Volkswagen the day before and they cleared all the history. But anyway, I did the oil change, checked the car over, recommended some brake pads at the rear, which was wearing very, very thin. So he came back today to get the rear pads changed, which I have done. And then he brought some glow plugs, asked me if I could change it. Had the glow plugs already in the car, got it from GPS. One of them was the one with the pressure sensor, which was interesting. Then I did all the job, parked the car outside. His friend came to collect the car wouldn't start. So that was the first time that I saw the dash, the lights, the warnings on a dash for the first time. And let me show you there. So put the ignition, cycle the ignition. So there you go, braking current unavailable. Stabilization control, fault. Auto holds not available. I think it was TPMS as well, front assist. TPMS and handbrake, I think. There you go, and I think that's the last one. Another thing that I've noticed, it's working now. At the time, the front windows wasn't working at all. It's working out, which is strange. But anyway, let me show you that doesn't crank. So I'm gonna put my foot on the clutch, try to crank it. Nothing. Let me show you the faults. By the way, I have diagnosed this car. I know what the problem is now, but I'm gonna track back all my steps because I think it could be useful for somebody. But anyway, let me show you the faults. And let me get the report here. The thing that I've noticed straight away was obviously there's a bunch of U codes there, so communication problem and various modules, and then lost communication with ECM, PCM or ECU, whatever you want to call it. So you see the U codes repeats in a lot of the modules. But one thing that caught my eye straight away, and I said to the guy, it was there's no communication with the ECU. So that's probably why the car doesn't obviously start. So if I go back, try to communicate with the engine ECU, no communication. So from there I said, look, it could be, well, my next step, as you probably know, I like to generally go to the components and test it before I get anywhere else, test like fuses, relay, which is probably easier. But I like to go to the components generally, check for powers and ground communications, damaged wires, plugs, whatever, things like that. And I told to the guy, do you want me to have a look? I can have a look at it. And then when I got to the ECU, it has I think 3 safety bolts, I think that's what they call it. So you have to basically sort of like do a groove on them and try to undo them, which is a pain to get to the plugs. I don't know why manufacturers do that. But anyway, so what I did next was try to wiggle the wires to see if I could communicate. I kept trying communicate to the engine ECU and wiggling the wires and everything else. From there, I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna try Diagnose done TSB. He kindly gave it to me a while back. And one of the TSB for this car was, I think it was a Golf and a Touran. It has the same central electronics module. It was a TSB for lower voltage, or what was it? Battery discharge, something like that. Battery discharge, I believe. But one thing that I caught my eye, because the fuse box is the same, was the relay. All right, so I'm trying to capture the fuse box here and also the scan tool. As you can see now, if I try to communicate, you see there's no communication. What I did was, because this relay was the same one it was on a TSB, apparently it's a known faulty component, 645. If I wiggle it, if I press it, I can hear some clicks. Let me see. There we go. If I force it like that. Now I try to communicate. Still no communication. Hold on. I think I can hear it. I have to sort of press it. Now, it stayed now. Try to communicate again. As you can see now, it can communicate. Let's see what the fault is. Trouble codes. So there you go, there's 3 faults. So the problem is definitely there. And let's see if we can start the engine. Foot on the clutch again. The car starts. Lovely. Let's see if we got any faults. I think it's still, the relay is still a bit dodgy. 12 volts battery low, charged by driving. Battery is a bit low now. So anyway, so this is our culprit here. Let me remove it. I think the relay contacts is the issue here. So see if I can get another one. I can see the pins, the terminals are very clean. There's no corrosion anywhere. I don't see any problem here, so I doubt it's going to be there. The pins are not spread it out. And you know, with the TSB pointing to a common faulty components, I'm going to order another one of them. Right, so I'm going to order another relay in the morning from TPS. I'm going to order the original one. I believe it's about 26 quid for another relay. So it should be here in the morning. We can try. I'm still not quite sure if it's going to be the relay or some problem with fuse box. I'm pretty kind of like going towards the relay problem, but I think it's worth to have another one at least to test this, if it wiggles, if it's going to lose contact or anything like that. I think it's the contact inside the relay, to be honest with you, but you never know. But it could be a very tricky situation. Obviously, has been to 3 shops now, plus Volkswagen, and they haven't been able to catch it. I think obviously because the fault wasn't present at the time. But having Diagnose done TSB, it was very, very helpful, because I was about to undo all the bolts on ECU and test all the pins, and eventually it would track me back to the relay. So I'm very, very happy about that. Thanks Diagnose done for providing that program to me. Yeah, so well, see what happens in the morning. Right, so next day, I've got the Touran here. I've got the new relay from TPS. I've got the ignition on. I fitted the new relay already because I had to move the car, so I put the new one in. The ignition is on at the minute. I'm leaving the windows open, so if it does play up, you should hear some warning inside the cabin, because every time obviously you're gonna have a bunch of faults and a bunch of dings going on inside the car. So let me move the relay the same way. So this is the old one, so I'll put a little yellow dot there, 645, and this is the new one. I'm gonna press the same way that I was doing yesterday, and it's definitely nothing shifting at all. No warning inside the cabin. So I'm pretty confident the problem is fixed. I also want to show you the faults that we had before, which is kind of interesting, because if I look at these faults now, I don't know if it's because I was sort of like playing up with the relay before, but the faults that we had before, which wasn't much help really, this is a report that I did when he said the car played up in the morning again. If I could scan the car, so you see the engine control module there, at the time was okay, but only one fault, and the fault was invalid data received from vehicle dynamics, and the same bunch of view codes like showed you before. And now, I don't know if because I was obviously moving the old relay yesterday, this is the report now. It does show me system low voltage and also power relay for the ECU there, de-energized, performance too early. Maybe because I was taken out when the car was ready with the ignition on. So that's interesting. Obviously, if you had these faults in the beginning, you could probably point you in the right direction there. But exactly the same problems or faults that we see here is the one that I saw on Diagnose done TSB. But yeah, I thought that was a bit interesting. So that's all we had in the beginning. Not much really helped there. It's just communication problem. But so I just want to show you there. Just cleared all the faults. So pass, no faults on all modules. Car starts as well. Foot on the clutch pedal. Car starts lovely. No faults. Let's go inside the ECU again. Takes a while. Trouble codes. All good. So there you go, guys. It could be a really tricky problem. I hope the video helps. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.